Okay guys, today is Wednesday, November 4th, and we got I was forgetting it was already Wednesday, and so yesterday I was thinking we had a full period, so I changed the plan a little bit. You caught me in a great mood, so we were going to hand this in right away, and the assignment from yesterday, that is, and get that graded. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a quick review of what we did yesterday, and you can see up on the screen it's solving equations through addition and subtraction. So I'm going to do a couple of the problems that were on your worksheet and help you out a little bit, and then provide the rest of the time to go ahead and get your assignment done for today. And that is going to be due by the end of the period, so if you don't get it in, that's an automatic 0, so don't fall into that category. So let's go over a couple of the problems real quick. So the first one I'm going to do, get back to my pen here, we're going to do 4.58 plus y equals 2.5, and I can't remember exactly which one that is, but it is one off of your homework. So this one's a little bit different because as you look at it, the 4.58 over here we have to get rid of because it's on the same side as y, our variable, and we're trying to get y by itself. But normally you'd see that written as y plus 4.58. So it kind of confuses people, but remember the opposites apply to addition and subtraction as well as positive and negative. And as we've worked with before, we've done it a couple times where you change subtraction problems into addition problems, and you can do the same thing with positives and negatives. They're really the same thing. So over here, if we have a positive 4.58, the same thing is or the opposite, sorry, is a negative 4.58, which is the same thing as subtracting it. So as we go back to my pen here, we're going to subtract 4.58. Or you can look at it as a negative 4.58. Either way it works. So we did it on this side, so we got to go over here and also subtract it on this side. Okay. So I'm going to draw a line to make sure everything's lined up for me. And over on the left we have the positive 4.58 and the negative 4.58. That equals 0, so that's how we canceled those out. And that leaves us just with that y. So we have y equals now. Y is all by itself on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have the 2.5 minus the 4.58. Now the 2.5 is positive and the 4.58 is negative, so because of that we subtract them. So when we subtract them, we're going to get a 2.08, and that's going to be negative because your biggest number up here is between the two of them is the 4.58, and that's negative, so we're going to leave the answer as negative. Okay, so that's what we say y equals, so I'm going to circle that. Okay, so let's run it through our proof or our verification process. So to do that, we rewrite the equation. So we have 4.58 plus y equals 2.5, so that was our original problem. And for y, we're going to plug in negative 2.08, which is what we said that it equaled. So bring down the 4.58 plus, and now where y is, we're going to put negative 2.08, and then bring down the 2.5. Okay, so if you add a positive 4.58 and a negative 2.08, again, you end up subtracting it, and what you're going to get is a 2.5. Okay, and that's a positive 2.5 because the 4.58 is a bigger number and it's positive, so we leave that as positive. And bring down the other 2.5, so it does equal out, so we know that we did all of our calculations correct, so we know that this solution is correct. So on that one, y does equal a negative 2.08. Okay, so let's scroll up a little bit, and it wouldn't be any fun if we didn't include a fraction in this, so let's go ahead and do that. And let's do this one right here. So we have w plus a 3 3/8, and that's going to equal a 1 5/6. Okay, we know that I don't necessarily like to deal with mixed numbers. I like working with improper fractions. It's just easier to manipulate them. So I'm going to change this up a little bit. So I'm going to rewrite it as w plus, and now I'm going to look at that 3 3/8. I'm going to make that an improper fraction by multiplying 8 times 3, which is 24. Add the numerator, which is 3, so it gives us 27. So now we're at 27 over 8. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the 1 and 5, 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. Add the numerator, which is 5, so that gives us 11. So now we're at 11 over 6. Okay, so that's easier to deal with. So as we're looking with this, or at this, we have w plus 27 over 8. And I need to get rid of that. We need to isolate the w on the left-hand side. So the opposite of plus 27 8 is to minus 27 over 8. So here we're going to minus 27 over 8. And if we do it on the left side, we do it on the right side. So we're going to minus 27 over 8 over here as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. And again, this side we canceled out because that's equal to 0. So the only thing left on the left hand side is the w, so we bring that w down. Okay, and then we have the 11/6 minus the 27 over 8. Okay, so this is where that nasty math comes back in. So we've got to work with these fractions to find out what that is. So let's put that in red. So off to the side here, I'm going to rewrite that fraction as 11 over 6 minus 27 over 8. Okay? And again, our denominators are 6 and 8, so we've got to match those up and come with a common denominator first. So I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, and I'm going to change the plus or the minus to a plus and make that 27 negative. So change that to plus, and whatever that ends up being will be negative. Okay, with 6 and 8, the lowest common denominator is going to be 24. So I'm going to put 24 on the bottom on both sides. And so we change both our fractions. So let's look at the 11/6 first. To get 6 to be 24, we multiplied by 4. So we do that with the top also. So 11 times 4 is going to give us 44. Okay, so the 11 over 6 became 44 over 24. Now we do the same thing with this one. To get 8 to be 24, we had to multiply by 3. So we're going to multiply that negative 27 by 3 as well. So 27 times 3 is 81, and I've already got the negative in there. So we have negative 81 over 24. Okay, and now I can go ahead and add the top. So we know our denominator is going to be 24. And in this case, when we go up there and we subtract the negative 27, or sorry, the 44 positive and the negative 81, the difference is going to be 37, and it's going to be a negative 37 because the bigger number between the 44 and the 81 is the 81, and the 81 is negative. So we got negative 37 over 24. So w is going to be equal to negative 37 over 24. Okay, so let's go back to block because we're going to go back to our equation over here. And the next thing we have to do is rewrite our equation. So we were working with w plus 27 over 8, because we changed it, equals 11 over 6. Alright, so we're going to plug in our negative 37 over 24 where w is. So we go down to the bottom and we put negative 37 over 24 plus 27 over 8, and that's going to equal 11 over 6. Okay, so that's the proof or the verification. So let's move it up so we can keep working with that. Alright, so we're at negative 34 over 24 plus the 27 over 8. And we don't have the same denominator, so I'm going to use 24 as the same denominator because they both fit into it. So I'm going to rewrite those as using 24, so we didn't change the first fraction, so that stays the same. But we are going to change the second fraction. So to get 8 to be 24, we had to multiply that by 3. So we're going to multiply the top by 3, so the 27 times 3 also. And that's going to give us 81. And then we bring down the 11 over 6. Okay, so if we subtract 37 from 81, we are going to get 44, and then keep the same denominator, which is 24, and bring down 11 over 6. Okay, so we need to reduce that left-hand side, and we can divide both 44 and 24 by 4. And if we do that, if we divide 44 by 4, we get 11, and 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Bring back or down the other 11 over 6. So it is equal to each other, so we know that we've got a good proof. So if we pull it back up here, I'll let you see the original problem again. We do know that W does indeed equal negative 37 over 24th. Now you can go ahead and change that into a mixed number if you need to. At this point I'm not going to, because it's not the main point of what we're going through and studying right now. So that would be fine for an answer for today. So those are two problems, and I'm going to give you till the end of the period. Remember to go ahead and have your homework done and hand it in. And just remember to get that in before that bell rings, because as you leave class today, if it's not in, that counts as a 0, and we don't want that. Okay, so have a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.